Hi viewers, welcome to Commissioner of Collegiate Education, Government of Telangana. I am Veeraya Sheelam, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government Degree College for Women, Nalgonda. Today we are going to discuss about BSc final year, 5th semester in botany subject. Paper name Ecology and Biodiversity. Topic is edaphic factors or soil factors. Here edaphic synonym is soil. So today the topic has some sub contents, one or two sub main contents discuss, that is soil profile. Profile means history of the soil. Earth planet has surface layer. That surface portion completely up to 30 kilometers depth is called crust. So totally Earth planet divided into three layers. Surface layer is called crust. It is extended up to 30 kilometers. The middle one is mantle, the lower one is core. So the uppermost layer considered as crust. The crust is considered as soil. Study of soil is called pedology. Study of soil is called pedology. The origin of soil is called pedogenesis. The soil term derived from Greek, Latin word, not Greek here, Latin word. That Latin word is solum. So it is important for entrance. Solum is the Latin word. In Latin language, solum means soil. Soil profile, the definition is vertical section of soil. A number of layers are superimposed on above the other is called soil profile. So one and another. If the vertical section of the soil, especially crust, the vertical section of the crust, many number of the layers are visible, they are one on another one. That is called soil profile. So it is the soil planet. Earth planet has three layers. The outermost one is, this is the crust, nearer 30 kilometers depth. Beneath crust, this layer is, the second layer is called mantle. Now the inner part is called core. Again core is outer core, the yellow color is outer core. The central part is red color is inner core. Together it is called core. So Earth planet divided into three layers: crust, mantle and a core. So the outer one is crust. It is the main source of the living organisms. So this is the main source of the living organism. How much depth? 30 kilometers depth. The complete surface of the crust is called soil. Up to some meters, 1 or 2 meters, it is purely cooperative to the living organisms. Which are living organisms? Plants, animals and microorganisms. So the second figure gives some information. This is the ocean water. Up to some meters depth, the ocean water is located. This is the mountain area or terrestrial land area. Beneath the oceans, the crust is very less. The white color indicate crust layer. The crust depth is very less. The thick is very less in under the oceans, at the bottom of the oceans. The same crust extended at the bottom of the beneath the mountains. So this is called continental crust. So your crust region is more at terrestrial point, less under the ocean point. So the crust is suitable for the living organisms. Beneath the crust, this is the mantle. The mantle has upper portion is called lithosphere. This is the rock area, purely rock area, bedrock area. These are the parental rock area. So partially weathered or weathering rocks zone is called lithosphere. Unweathered maternal rocks is called bedrock area. So unweathered, these are weathering zone, it is unweathering zone. Now the soil crust, the surface of the crust divided into 6 hairy zones, that is called soil profile. In soil profile, mainly it has 4 zones. They are A zone, B, C and D zone. Remaining 2 zones are subzones. Actually, these 3 zones are come under A hairy zone. So O hairy zone, E hairy zone, E hairy zone. O, A, E. Those 3 hairy zones are come under A hairy zone. So the main types are 4, but including subtypes together is called 6 hairy zones. The last one hairy zone, another name is regolith zone, R zone. So here only bedrocks are visible. Bedrocks means there is no weathering process in R zone. This is the bottom. It is completely extended into the mantle and core. Now one by one. So it is one diagram, soil profile. So the first one is O hairy zone. O means organic matter hairy zone. So the green color superficial uppermost soil layer, uppermost crust layer is called O hairy zone. O means organic matter, because dead and decay parts of plant and animal parts are present over the surface of the soil. A hairy zone, it is the uppermost main zone. At the bottom of hairy zone, the white color indicate elevation zone. Elevation zone. Shortcutly it is called E. So at the bottom of the A zone, it has E zone, sublayer. So E means elevation. Elevation means leaching. So more organic matter, more nutrients, mineral nutrients, more clay particles are leached here. So the bottom of the A zone contain rich nutrients, rich clay particles. They are present at the bottom of A hairy zone. That hairy zone shortcut it is called E. Beneath the E, B hairy zone is visible. This is the B hairy zone. B hairy zone also a special character. At the bottom of the B hairy zone, one more sublayer is there, that is illuviation layer. Illuviation means accumulation. What are the accumulated here? So most of the clay particles, some other aluminium, iron, they are accumulated here. More iron available in this B zone, therefore the zone visible like looks like reddish color. So not only iron, aluminium also accumulated. So the accumulated layer is called illuviation layer. It is present at B horizon. Then C horizon. In C horizon, it is called maternal rock zone. So weathering process visible. The rocks are big in size, small size, big in size rocks are visible here. So in this zone, water drains lot, generally considered as groundwater. The CRE zone considered as groundwater. The water retained in between the maternal rocks. The weathering process going on here. The last one is regolith zone or D zone. Here there is no weathering process. It is called bedrock zone. The rocks are too big in size. There is no water. In C and D, both zones, there is no living organisms. So it is not suitable for life forms because lack of air. Only first and second zone, these two zones are soil zones. These are the suitable for life because water, air, minerals, everything available in two zones. Therefore, living organisms are chance to live here. So alleviation and illuviation. Alleviation means leaching, illuviation means accumulation. So accumulation. So let us one by one. A horizon, it consists of again 5 subzones which are A00 subzone. Usually it is called O zone, organic matter zone. It is topmost layer of the soil. It consists of many dead plant and animal material. So second zone is A0 subzone. Partially composed organic substances are visible. The decomposing process done by the organisms like bacteria, fungus, etc. The next to C subzone, A1 subzone. So organic matter is rich. Minerals also rich in this A subzone, A1 subzone. A2 subzone, the mineral quantities are less. The A3 subzone generally is called E, elevation or leaching zone. It is present in between A and B zone. So it is the barrier in between A zone and B zone. So A zone contain more, it is favorable to the crop plants as forest or microorganisms because water, aeration, everything is available to the living organisms. The dicot roots are grown very well in this among these all subzones means A00, A0, A1, A2, A3. So dicot roots are and living microorganisms are visible in A zone, completely A zone. So it is a vertical section of crust up to some meters height. This is the uppermost one. So it is the uppermost, the brown color, the layer is ozone, organic matter. This is the A zone. A zone contain rich minerals. So rich organic matter, it is called topsoil. O and A, it is suitable for crop plants. At the completely bottom, this is called E zone, elevation zone. Elevation means leaching. Generally here minerals and clay particles are leached. Next B zone. So B zone, in B zone, elevation layer is visible because accumulation of clay particles. That clay particles transported from A zone. So here also dicotyledon roots are visible. So forest tree plants roots are visible. So water has drains, but microorganism activity is very less. Hence microorganism activity is there. Microbial activity is present, but the number of the microorganism is very less in B zone. Hence until B zone, up to B zone, at the bottom of the B zone, dicotyledon roots and microbial organisms are visible. These are microbial organisms. So living forms are visible until B zone. Now the C zone, so partially weathered rocks are visible. So water also there in between. Generally it is called groundwater. The fourth one is non-weathering part. This is called regolith zone or bedrock. You observe here one by one. The uppermost is greenish color. So that is organic matter zone O. Then the second one is A zone. So uppermost, it is also favorable to the plants and forest. Crop plants are mostly dependent on A zone. E zone, elevation. It is also part of the A. Bottom of the A layer is called elevation or leaching zone. From O to E, it is the A zone. It contains more living organisms. So it is favor to the plants, crops and forest. The second one is B zone. It has elevation, accumulation zone. Until B zone, at the bottom of the B zone, the dicot root main taproot system visible, as well as living organisms also. Little number of living organisms activity also visible. There is no living organism in C zone, but C zone considered as groundwater. So C zone contain groundwater. Partially weathering rocks are visible. The regolith zone, here there is no activity, there is no weathering, there is no water, there is no living forms. This is called bedrock or regolith zone, R zone, D zone. So this is the plant soil profile A00, A0, A1, A2, A3. Until A3, it is considered as A horizon. Then B horizon. B horizon also contain dicot roots. So little number of microbial activity. C horizon contain water. D horizon there is no weathering. A zone and B zone including considered as surface of the soil. C and D zone considered as subsoil. So surface of soil, it is the reference to the living organism. So it is favor to the living organisms. Subsoil, it is not favor to the living organism. So living forms, non-living forms. Two zones are divided. Now it takes some soil from the garden and pour some water and shake well several times. Keep there aside several hours. After, the glass shows at the bottom big size stones. So stratified some layers. So the bottom stones are big in size. Over the stones some small size gravels are stratified. Anyhow, these two layers considered as sand gravel. Then silt particles are deposited. Silt particles are very small. Over clay particles, they are smallest particle. So big size to small. So acropetalous manner, ascending manner, big size to small size soil particles. Some water is suspended. That suspension water contain humus, organic matter. If the organic matter containing water is less color, less brown color, that indicate less organic matter. If the water is too dark, the water is rich organic matter. Based on this simple test, we can easily identify our garden soil is rich or not. If the suspension of water in the glass, if that water is light in color, that indicates less organic matter, unfertilized, non-fertilized soil. If the suspended suspension water is deep dark in color, that indicates our garden soil is rich nutrients, fertile garden. That indicates fertile garden. Now B horizon, elevation or accumulation zone. So this zone contain less organic matter. So less organic matter, B zone. but the light brown color, B horizon is light brown color because mineral nutrients are very less, therefore color is light color. Small number of living organisms are present because poor air circulation, so the air oxygen levels are very less in B horizon, therefore living forms are very less. C horizon, so it consists partially weathering, rocks are visible, water is abundant, therefore it is called groundwater. So bore wells also reached until to this layer. So this layer not support to the life because lack of air circulation. So it is not support to the life because lack of air circulation. Next one, D horizon or regolith zone. R means regolith. It is the lowest region of the soil profile. Unweathered parental material is present, therefore it is called R zone, regolith zone. It is also not supported to the life because lack of air, lack of water, both. So you remember D zone, another name regolith zone. Regolith zone, the term is important for entrance. Now second topic today is that soil texture. Soil texture contain mainly 5 components. So soil made up of these 5 components, which are soil particles, soil solution, soil organic matter, soil environment and soil organisms. So soil contain these following components. So all to each other mix up and to form soil. So without soil there is no crop production. The soil nutrients are transferred into the crop. The crop gives yield. The yield means food. So the food obtaining from the crops are growing on the soil. Therefore indirectly link with food, link with soil. So the good soil provide always good food. If soil is not good, the food is not good. So the fertile soil is required for the production of a good food. Now first one is soil particles. Depending on the size of the soil particle, these are divided into some categories, which are coarse gravel. So more than 5 millimeter, that particle considered as coarse gravel. If 2 to 5 millimeter size, that soil particle is called fine gravel. 0.2 to 2 mm size, so maximum 2 mm, minimum 0.2 mm. If the particles are in between, they are considered as coarse sand. If the size of sand particle is in between 0.02 to 0.02 mm, here 0.2 is maximum size, 0.02 is the minimum size. The silt particle 0.002 is minimum, 0.02 mm is the maximum size. It is important for MSc entrance or B.Ed entrance, silt size. And clay particle, these are the smallest particle, less than 0.002 mm. So you remember these 3 particles are important. What are they? Fine sand, silt, clay. Fine sand, silt, clay together is called loam soils. When these are equal proportion and make the loam soils. So loam soil means fine sand plus silt soil plus clay soil. So mixture is called loam soil when the percentage equal proportionate, 33%, 33, 33 to form loam soils. The loam soils are the most fertile soils. Among the all soils, loam soils considered as most fertile soils. So loam soils are always best for the cultivation of crops. That loam soils made up of three components, which are fine sand, silt and clay. Based on the circulation of air, water storage and ratio of soil particles, the soils are classified into five types: gravel soils, sandy soils, silt soils, clay soils, and loam soils. Among these five, loam soils are always best soils. These are best for all type of the crop production. The first one, gravel soils. Gravel means the size is very big in size. Soil particle size is very big in size. Therefore, gravel, the presence of gravel percentage is high, other particles are less. Therefore, air circulation is more because soil particle size is more. So, air circulation and water retaining capacity is low because soil particle size is big. In between that particles, air circulation is more, the water drainage is very less. So organic matter also absent almost. So it is suitable for xerophytes plants. So only xerophytes can grow in gravel soils. Second one is sandy soils. So in the soils, sand particles are high, other particles are less. Again, high air circulation, less water holding capacity. So water holding capacity is very less. At the same time, organic matter also very less. Therefore, it is also favorable to the xerophytes. So only xerophytes can grow in these soils because sandy soil particle size also big in size. The third one is silt particles. High percentage of silt particles and a low percentage of other particles. Silt particles are very small. So the size is in between 0.002 to 0.02 mm. So very smaller in size. Therefore, they are present in very close. So air circulation is very low. The water drainage is more. So water holding capacity is more, water drainage is more. So water retained in these soils, but air circulation problem is there. Anyhow, soils retain more organic matter. So your two favorable characters are there: more organic matter, water holding capacity. But only one is demerit is air circulation is very less. Anyhow, these soils are favorable to the all kinds of the plants. So all type of the plants can grow in silt soils. The fourth one is clay soils. Clay means it is the smallest particles, smallest soil particles. In these soils, high percentage of clay particles are present, less of other particles. Air circulation is low, it is demerit. Water holding capacity is high, it is merit. One demerit is there, one merit is there. One more merit is every clay particle enclosed with cations. So it is a chemical ions. These chemical ions are bind to the clay particles. In that moment, the root system develops as dwarf. So dwarf root system developed. One more thing, when more cations are bind to the clay particles during the summer time, such soils are exhibit a splitting mechanism. So these soils are split like this manner. So the soils are split during the summery time. The soils are split into the lines. So that indicate that soil particles bind with more cations. The splitting indicate unfertile soil, unfertility. So it indicates unfertility. So when cations are more and bind to the clay particles during the summertime, the soil go to split into many layers. It indicate unfertility, less organic matter. Therefore, the roots are growing as dwarf. It is also not suitable. Clay soils are not suitable for all kind of the plants. And finally, the best, always best soils are loam soils. So it is the preferable soil. Loam means equal proportionate of clay, silt and fine sand. When they are each 33%, then form loam soils. It is the preferable soils. The loam soil shows more air circulation. Advantage, more water holding capacity. One more advantage, more organic material. One more advantage. So all are advantages. Sufficient air circulation, sufficient water holding capacity and sufficient organic materials are available. So these soils are exhibit all fine characters, all positive characters. So it is the best soil for agriculture. Therefore, all kinds of the plants can grow in these loam soils. How they are made up of? Loam soils are made up of equal proportionate of clay, silt and fine sand. How much percentage? The model ideal percentage is 33, 33, 33. Which particles? Don't forget, it is question. Clay, silt, fine sand. Clay is the smallest soil particles. Smallest soil particles. Silt is 0.0022 to 0.02. It is important for entrance. Fine sand 0.02 to 0.2 mm. When these three are together in 33 percentage equal proportionate to form loam soils, it is the best soil for the all type of the crop production. So by the help of one small test, the test name Mason jar soil test. Mason jar soil test. When you are going to new houses, in their gardens, that garden soil is good or not, we don't know. In that moment, you must make perfect that garden. We want one test. The test is Mason jar soil test. Take some amount of soil from the garden in various places. Pour that soil in one bottle. The bottle name Mason jar. Up to 1 by 2 or 3 by 4, 1 by 2, half of the bottle filled with dried soil sample. After pour the soil sample, add some water 3 by 4th up to reach the neck of bottle filled with water and shake several times. Keep aside up to several hours. After some hours, gradually some stratified layers are visible. Always the bottle bottom filled with gravel, big size gravel, sand. Over that silt or reaches, and over that clay. Clay is the smallest particles, and the water may be suspended. If the suspension water is light in color, that indicate less organic matter, or dark brown color, that indicate more organic matter. Based this simple test, we can easily identify our garden is fertile garden or unfertile garden. So based on the suspension water of in this bottle, we can easily identify our garden belongs to fertile garden or unfertile. Or one more test is there. If incorporate into one scale, measuring scale among this bottle at inside. So the scale contains some percentage, some centimeters. If the bottom has 40 sand is 40%, silt is 40%, clay is 20%. In that moment, the percentage are taking based on the scale, iron scale, measuring scale. So it is easily estimating percentage in between sand, silt, clay. So fine sand, silt, clay. The fine sand is 40%, silt is 40%, clay is 20%. But what is the ideal percentages in between three for making of loam? 33, 33, 33. These are the ideal percentage for making of loam. But we got 20, 40, 40. So these apply on beside triangular. This is one of the measuring graph. This graph was developed by USDA, United States of Department of Agriculture and Soil. USDA given this graph. The graph has percentage of day. It is the clay, percentage clay. You observe here. So graph has some measurements. Clay, this is the silt, here silt, here sand. If 40% silt, 40% sand, 20% clay. Now it is also come under zone loam area. You observe here loam area. So this is the loam area, 33, 30.